In this video, I want to talk about how to survive LA County Jail and California's prisons as an Asian. Let's talk about it. First things first, I do want to say that I'm only speaking on my experience. Now, someone that got locked up that you may know, or if you're watching this video, it might have been different for you. But I do know that the process for jail, going to see a judge, prison, I know that process is exactly the same as it was before as it is today. I'm speaking only from my experience, so please keep that in mind as you watch this video. I'm gonna try to talk fast because there's so much to cover, and I just want to get straight into it, okay? For example, let's say I live in Hawaiian Gardens. I decide to go out to Hollywood. I get drunk, I get in my car, I get into a car accident, I crash into someone, and I kill someone. Even though I live in Hawaiian Gardens, because I got locked, because the crime was committed in Hollywood, Hollywood PD is going to come and snatch me up and take me to the local Hollywood police station. That's called a substation, okay? Now, LA County is massive. We have the 818, which is cities like Pacoima, and then you have San Gabriel Valley like El Monte, and then you keep going down a little bit south, you have Downey, you have Norwalk, and then you go down to 405, you got Inglewood, you have Gardena, Hawthorne, all the way down to Long Beach, okay? Every one of those cities has a local police station. So wherever the crime is committed, that's where you're first gonna go. After, let's say I get into the car accident, I kill someone, they're gonna arrest me, they're gonna drive me down to the local Hollywood police station, they're gonna throw me into a cell, you're gonna wait for a little bit, okay? Two things are gonna happen. Or maybe three, depending on when the crime was committed. The first things first, they're gonna interrogate you, okay? You're gonna go into the cell. They're gonna come by. They're gonna say, "Hey, come with us," and then they're gonna take you to the interrogation room. You're gonna have the good cop, and then you're gonna have the bad cop. What I want you to do at this point is please shut your mouth. Do not say anything. The only thing that should be coming out of your mouth is, "I want a lawyer." That is it. That's all you say. You got to remember the cops. What did they say to you when you first get arrested? Hey, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. So please shut your mouth. After that happens, they're going to send you back into your to your cell. And then you could ask for a phone call. You know, you're going to have to make a collect call. And this is where this is so important. With today's technology, everyone forgets phone numbers. They don't know anyone's phone number. So the one thing I want you to do is to remember someone's phone number that is most likely going to pick up your call. Now, it's not going to be your name popping up on call ID. It's going to be some random number. Hell, cell phones even have the option where it's like block unknown numbers or like not familiar numbers. They're going to block that. So if you're in a pinch like this, bro, that call is going straight to voicemail, man. So try to pick someone's number where if this situation were to happen, they're very likely to pick up. Next thing is bail. If the crime was committed on Friday, you're gonna have to wait until Monday to go to your bail hearing. You're gonna have to wait overnight, over the weekend in LA County Jail, which is in Chinatown, which we'll get to in a minute, until you see the judge. So what ends up happening, you'll go from the substation. If it's because the court systems are closed over the weekend, you're gonna have to wait till Monday to see the judge, and then the only thing that's gonna happen at that court hearing is your bail. They're gonna talk about your bail amount. That's it, okay? But if the crime happened on a Tuesday, by law, you have to see a judge within 72 hours. That's by law, okay? That's the third thing. That's why I said it's a maybe. That's gonna happen. Afterwards, you go from the substation, and then they're gonna send you off to LA County Jail. Remember, I said earlier, every city has its substation. From there, you're going to the main hub, where all the people that got locked up at these substations is gonna go. That's the headquarters right there. That's the one that's in Chinatown. That's Twin Towers. That's LA County Jail. And you're gonna sit there, and that's where you're gonna fight your case. If you don't get bailed out. If you get bailed out, you get home and you get to come back every court hearing. You fight your case. If you're found not guilty, you're free, no more court. But if you're guilty, you got to come back and do the rest of your time. Okay? For those that don't get bail, you're going to be sitting inside jail. After you sit inside jail, From there, you're just gonna just get housed, and you're gonna keep coming back to court. You're gonna keep going to your arraignments, okay? You're gonna get these court dates. You're gonna keep going back until the case is settled. Once the case is settled, there's a couple options. Either you're gonna be not guilty, there's not enough evidence, they're gonna let you go, or you're gonna keep fighting your case until one or two things happen, or a couple of things happen. You're not guilty, you went to trial, you ended up found not guilty, you end up going to trial and you're found guilty, or you take a plea deal, which means you admit to fault, you admit guilt, but then because you admit it without going through the whole circus of court, and it's usually faster, you get a reduced sentence, but you do have to admit guilt to certain charges. Like for example, when I first got locked up, I initially got locked up for 187A. I just took the plea deal for assault with the firearm. If I would have went to trial and I lost, I could have done life. So that's why I took the plea deal. I'm like, I'm not gonna take my chances, man. Screw that. Let's go. Once, let's say everything's done and settled, there's a couple of things that might happen after your court hearing. If you still have to do time and there's not time served, so let's say the car accident, it's settled within 3 months, but then the judge says, hey, I wanted you to do a year. You're gonna do the remaining of the year in county jail. If it's longer, depending on the type of charge and how much time, you might get sent off to prison. So you'll go from jail, from being property of LA County, now you're being property of California. You're gonna wait after your court, and let's say I got charged for 3 years. Okay, I got found guilty. Now I gotta do 3 years. I'm gonna do my remaining time in California prison. You go to prison, stay out of trouble, and then you come home. Hopefully I didn't lose you guys. If I did, just comment below, man. I'll make sure to answer these questions. I'm just talking fast. I want to get through this. There's a lot to cover. Now, what I want to talk about is the nitty gritty, is like the details. I want to talk about the process of going to jail, what to expect when you're in LA County jail, the whole process, the court system, going to prison. So this is a lot of details here. We'll talk about the politics of like the gangs and the rules and stuff later on. When you first get locked up, after you go from the substation to county jail, which is in Chinatown in LA, once you get there, you're automatically gonna go into like this room, and that's where they're gonna strip search you, man. If there's a bunch of people, you're gonna go into this room. It's like plexiglass. There's gonna be like a couple COs. They're gonna walk in, and you're gonna have to get naked right there. They're gonna ask you to strip down. You're gonna have to like comb through your hair, make sure there's no drugs or contraband in there. You're gonna fumble with your ear, open your mouth, lift your tongue, no drugs, okay, cool. Now you're gonna lift your junk, make sure there's no anything in there and hiding or anything. And then you have the famous bend over and cough. Yes, it's not a bend over board, it's more like a squat. They're gonna ask you to squat, cough 3 times, loud, Once you do that, it's time to get processed. You put back on your clothes, and they're gonna start herding you down the line. This is where they're gonna intake you, okay? They're gonna, one by one, you're gonna go sit, and you're gonna get entered in. Your name, your date of birth, all that information, all that good stuff, okay? And then you're gonna get a wristband. They're gonna give you a number, okay? Like a jail number. Now, you're no longer Try, or you're no longer your name. Now you're just a freaking number. That's it. And you better remember that number, because that's how they're going to call you when it's time to go back to court and stuff. We'll get into that later on. But after you get processed, you're going to go take a shower now. It's like this. They're going to send you off to this big old room with everyone, whether it's 10 people or it's with like 30 people. They're going to take you to go take showers. They're gonna go ahead and give you some blues, like a suit, a top, a bottom. It's like scrubs. You're gonna get these shoes, LA County shoes, which is pretty much slip-ons. And then you're gonna go hop in the shower in a towel. That's it. You go there. Make sure you freaking shower. Being dirty is a sign of disrespect, so please shower. After you shower, you dry up. Now this is where they do your evals. After you shower, they're gonna separate you. And this is where things get this is where you gotta understand the rules. Because you gotta remember, gang law and gang rules is law inside those walls. Gangs rule everything. So now we're entering into the gang life, okay? The gang rules. So if you're not a gang member, this is very important for you to pay attention. As an Asian or an other is, Pacific Islanders, or maybe a Cuban might want to roll with others. Someone that's not either, like, how you fill out application, they ask you what your ethnicity is. You got black, you got white, you got Mexican, and then you have others. That's us. That's all the Asians, just typically others. That's your car. There are 4 groups, 4 cars, as they call it, and that's gonna be your peoples. So after you shower, or the CEO is gonna ask you, hey, who do you run with? This is that time. Hey, I run others, man. I run, or some people say Asian, but it's others. We're under the umbrella. They're gonna separate you. And depending if you're in a gang or not, if you're in a gang, you follow the gang rules. So let's say, even though I'm Vietnamese, but the gang that I ride with, they're Southsiders, I'm gonna run with the Mexican Southsiders. Okay, I had a little homie that did 10 years. He's Filipino, but he ran Southside. That's just how he operates, and he followed their rules and their program. But me, when I got locked up, I'm Asian, so I'm gonna follow the other car and their rules and how we get down in our program. But after the showers, they're gonna separate you, and then the CEO is gonna ask you, hey, who do you run with? And it's 2 rooms. And the reason why it's 2 rooms, because blacks and others, we program together, and then you have the whites and the Southern Hispanics, they program together. So it's 2 different rooms. You're gonna go into that holding cell, and this is where they do evaluations. Now, evaluations is pretty much making sure that you're healthy, you're not crazy. It's a mental psych, like evaluations, things like that. It's very basic. After you're done seeing the nurse, they check on you. Do you have any diet restrictions and XYZ? Now you're gonna get sent off into another room, and that's where you're gonna wait until they find you a bed. For me, I think it took 4 days, 3 or 4 days, because LA County Jail was just so packed and there wasn't an open bed. You're gonna sleep in this room that's cold as hell. It's AC all day. There's no windows. You can't see outside. There's no clouds. You don't know if it's daytime or sun or anything like that. The only way you know is when they serve you food, and when the lights come on, the lights go off. That's it. Okay? Lights on at 5, lights off at 9. After 9, it's quiet time. Please remember that rule. After you do your evals, they're gonna send you off into another room, and you're just gonna wait there. Sometimes you might get a bed immediately, which is good, because now you can relax, you can kick back, you can see the homies, you can kind of chill out a bit, okay? If not, you're just gonna be in that room. It's all cement. There's no blanket, no pillows. You might sleep on the floor. You might sleep on the cement bench, but that's where you're gonna wait until they house you. You gotta remember, LA County Jail in Chinatown is a big building. It's like one big dormitory. You have different floors. Depending on which floor you go to, it's gonna dictate your living style. Now, one floor might be jail cells, another one might be dormitory. So there's 2 different types of living. There's escalators, but they're non-operational. So they're like stairs, and you got to walk through it. Now you're walking through this big old building. It's like a hospital. And along the sides, each side, there's going to be a color strip. Now, each color indicates different things. I don't know the colors, but I'm just going to give you an example. Blue might be visiting room. Like, you follow the blue line, and that's where it's going to lead you down to visiting. Or if you follow the yellow line, that might be down to medical, because you got into a fight and your hand got broken, your jaw got broke or something. Or a red one, that might mean go to the courthouse tanks, which I'll get to in a bit. You're going to follow the freaking lines, and while you're walking through these halls, you got to put your hand behind your back, okay? You got to walk like that. And sometimes while you're walking, you might have like a high risk inmate, and then the CEOs will yell, face the wall. And you got to face the wall immediately. If you don't face the wall and you're like trying to look to see who it is, the CEO might come over to you and be like, hey, what did I say? And they're going to like slam your head against the wall. They're going to search you. They're going to turn you around. What did I freaking say to you, huh? Are you trying to eye freak me? Huh? Best bet, face the wall. Who cares who's walking? Unless you have a lot of enemies in there, I say just face the wall. But if you have some enemies, maybe it might be smart to kind of watch your back, because you never know what might happen, man. Once you get your bed and your housing, the CEO is going to escort you, and you're going to go ahead and go to your bed finally. Now you got like your, they're going to give you a blanket, your t-shirt, and they're going to send you off. You might get like a small little kit, like a kit with a toothbrush in there, like small little toothbrush, a soap bar, a small one, and some toothpaste or something, tooth powder, depending on what's available. I want to break down the living situations, the two different types. There's jail, cells, and then dormitories. First off, I want to talk about the dormitories. You're going to walk down these massive freaking hallways, and on each side there's doors. So maybe every, I don't know, 15, 20 feet might be a door. Another 15, 20 feet, another door, and then 15, 20 feet, another door. And each time you open that door, it's going to lead into this massive room. 200 people in there, bunk beds lined up, 3, 4 rows deep, going all the way back, you know? It might be a 2-person bunk bed, or it might be a 3-person bunk bed. There's going to be a day area with the TV. There's going to be a shower room. There's going to be a place, a shower room with the toilets, sinks, and there's going to be a little section for payphones, okay? Where you can make phone calls, collect calls home or to your peoples, all right? Now, once you go into this dorm, right when you enter, there's usually a house mouse. Pretty much that person, that house mouse, each group, remember I told you about the 4 groups earlier? Each group is gonna have a house mouse. That person's gonna be like your representative. That's like politics. This is gonna be your rep. You have any issues, you go to them. So right when you get in, typically people will be like, hey, your peoples are over there, man. You walk over there, introduce yourself. Hey, what's up? Whoop-de-woo. They'll tell you where your bunk is at. You put your bed there, and they're gonna kind of break down the rules for you. One of the rules is do not walk in between bunk beds. That is a sign of disrespect. If there are 4 rows of bunk beds, you walk around to get to the other side. You don't walk in between, okay? If there's 4 rows, you walk your ass around it. Do not walk in between. If you do, you're gonna get DP. DP stands for disciplined, okay? Which means you're gonna knuckle up. You might get boo-bopped. 3, 4 heads on you, and that's teach you a lesson. That's rule number 1. Because it's so racially charged inside LA County Jail, when you're inside the dorms, there's gonna be numerous of toilets, numerous of sinks, numerous of shower heads, and each group is gonna have their own toilet, own sink, own shower head. It's gonna be very specific. Your peoples are gonna tell you, hey, you can only use this one, you can only use that one, and you can only use this. Okay, same thing for the payphones. You can only use X amount of payphones. There might be 4, there might be 2, but you'll know, and they'll tell you, hey, only use this one. So another rule of thumb is, because the bunk beds are lined up like this, you're gonna have some space in between. So there's one bunk bed, you're gonna have about 2.5 feet, another bunk bed, another 2.5 feet, another bunk bed. That space in between, one of them is yours. That's called a lane. Before you walk into your lane, make sure no one's at the bottom. Okay, if you got the top bunk, make sure no one's at the bottom. Imagine you coming in, your crotch is all up in this fool's face. Oh, best believe you're gonna knuckle up quick. You're gonna go to the back. You're gonna have to get down, man. That's just the way it is. And do not turn down any freaking fades. Typically, you're from a gang. As soon as you walk in, another Asian like gangbanger might come up to you and they'll ask you, hey, where you from? And if you have beef, oh, it's right there, on and popping. Boom, 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 blah, blah, blah. No talking. You just get nutty with it. Yes, Asians, we're supposed to watch out for each other, but jail is like the streets, but it's just centralized. All the enemies and ops are in just one place, okay? And like I said, quiet time is after 9. When 9 p.m. hits, you stay hush. If you start yapping loud and talking, ooh, boy, you better be ready to do this again, man. It's that time. They'll serve you breakfast. You'll get in your bunk. You'll have to line up. Someone will come around. They'll have like all these trays and they'll serve it to you. If you miss breakfast, you'll also miss lunch. So what ends up happening is they'll give you a tray and then they'll give you a sack lunch. That sack lunch has like 4 slices of bread, some peanut butter, a cookie, and then juice or something like that. So just remember, if you want lunch, you got to eat breakfast, okay? And after you're done, someone will come back, they'll collect the trays, and then you got the rest of the day. You wait till nighttime, same thing happens again. You line up, you get your tray, you eat, someone will come back, collect it. That's pretty much your day. Throughout the day, there's this thing called count. That means the officers are going to walk around and they're going to manually count each inmate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. That's what's going to happen, okay? If you're in the bunk, make sure you sit up. If you don't sit up and you're laying down, oh, you're going to get it. One time I didn't sit up for a count because I was sleeping. There's count in the morning. First thing in the morning, there's a count. So as soon as lights come on, boom, they kick through the door and it's count time. You're just like, what happened? You better sit up straight, bro. If you don't, what ended up happening to me one time, I was on the top bunk. The CEO came over, he said, don't you know what time it is? It's count time, bro. And he just yanked me. He just pulled, and I just, bam, slammed. I fell down to the floor from the top bunk, man. Top bunk, it's like a 5-foot drop or something like that. Bam! Oh, bro, I was aching. And then they sent me off into like this other room to just sit there and just cool off for like hours. I didn't get breakfast. I didn't get lunch. Like I was just sitting there. I was heated. I was ready to, That's just the rules, okay? And then there's another count before dinner. Please keep that in mind. When it's count time, please sit up, okay? And if you have a homie that's close by and he's sleeping, he's not knowing what's up, tap him. Let him know what's going on. Look out for him. Inside there, the lone wolf dies. It's all about the wolf pack. Okay? And if you could look out for somebody, they're going to thank you. That's pretty much dormitory living. On a different floor, you might get housed inside a cell. Like I was inside both. You might get housed inside of a cell. And when you're in the cell, there's no TV. Like you can't watch TV. In the dormitory, there might be a big old TV. Thank you to Robert Downey Jr. He donated those TVs when he got locked up. So he didn't have to do time. You got these big old TVs. And on certain days, your peoples might be operating the remote. And the other days, it might be Hispanics operating the remote. It's very loud. You got 200 men in there just talking and talking and watching the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing else. So you got time in there. Let's say you're on the floor with cells, and that's where you're going. Same thing. You got this big old hallway. You got a door here, another 10, 15, 20 feet, another door. When you open that door, there's 4 rows. You got Alpha, Baker, Charlie, Denver row. Alpha, Baker, Charlie, Denver row. Or it might be A, B, C, D. I forget. There's typically 13 jail cells going down. And in the very front, there's the showers, the shower room. Pretty much once that door opens, you're going to see stairs on the left side, stairs on the right side. You got one going up, one going down. Same thing on the other side. One going up, one going down. It's 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. But in the middle is the command center. This is where the cops go. And inside, they can walk down the whole catwalk. And they have like these glass, like plexiglass or whatever. And the inmates, as they walk down this path, the inmates can see them coming. And you'll hear somebody yelling, walking. That means the CO is doing his rounds and checking, making sure no one's dead. You guys aren't doing crime or you know, drugs or whatever the case may be. So when you hear that word walking, that means the CO is walking. If you're doing some dirt, just be alert. It's 6 bunk beds inside the cell, but they house 4 people in there. Sometimes you might get lucky and you might be housed with your peoples inside one jail cell. Or you might be like me one time. You might go in there and there's 2 Hispanics and then you got a white guy and then you got me. That's 4 people. It's 6 bunk beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the far right corner, 5, 6. Right next to it is a payphone, and then on the left hand corner is your toilet and your sink. It's connected, just like exactly you see in the movies. It's made out of like stainless steel, whatever, and boom. That's gonna be your toilet. It's out in the public. That's where you're gonna have to do your duty. Now, if you're going to the jail cell, make sure that the temperature of the vibes, that it's not cracking. Like there was a time where Asians were green lit. Green lit just means that the Mexican mafia put out a hit on all the Asians. If you're Asian and you're inside the county jails, as soon as they see you and the Mexicans see you, the Southsiders, oh, they're coming to get you on site. But right now, things are kind of cooled down. There's not that much tension like that out in the streets, so I'm assuming it flows over. What happens in the streets and the jail systems, they kind of correlate back and forth. But when you go in there, say what's up, introduce yourself, let them know what's going on, and you find your bunk bed. The person, let's say you're on the top or you're on the bottom, usually whoever's there, they usually kind of get up and they're like, they give you space. Hey, I'll let you have some space so you can make your bed. Okay, this should be already a mattress, and then you're gonna go ahead and you get a bed sheet. You can fold it up and you cover it, and then that's your bed, man. The rules are a little bit different in here because when you're in the dorms, you have a shower room. You can shower there anytime you want. But when you're inside the jail cell, in order for you to shower, the cops, they have to open your door, and then you gotta walk out to go take a shower inside the shower room. And what ends up happening usually when it's shower time, the cops don't open the whole floor. Like, they don't open the whole floor for Charlie roll. They open it section at a time, like 5 jail cells, and then another 5 jail cells. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna shower, make sure you have your shoes on. Typically, you can buy shower shoes like sandals, and it's literally thong sandals. Do not wear that unless you're gonna shower. The only time you're gonna wear thong sandals is when you're showering. If not, you're always wearing your shoes. I don't care what happens. If your feet is wet, stick your freaking foot in there. Okay, no socks, stick your foot in there. Dry your feet, wear your shoes. Okay, that's one rule. Another thing, you can bird bath. This is where you're gonna have your shower. There's a button, the water comes out like a water fountain. That's where you drink your water too. You're gonna clog up the freaking sink. You have like your milkshake cup. You stand over the toilet. You pour water on yourself. You lather up. You get that water and then you rinse off. That's it. Try to hit the sink, the toilet as much as you can. If not, there's water that's gonna be overflowing, which is fine. After you're done, make sure you wipe it down. Okay, you wipe all of that down. You clean up, but before you do that, before you use the toilet, before you shower, please ask everyone in there. Like, hey, is it cool if I shower? Like, I'm gonna shower. Is that okay with everyone? Someone might be eating. Imagine you're trying to take a dump while someone's eating. Oh, you're getting into a fight, bro. And another rule of thumb, I'll get right into this one. If you're gonna take a dump in the jail cell or in wherever you're at, in the dormitories, when you drop one, you're gonna flush. So every time, right before you're gonna drop one, you flush. You constantly flush, 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 flush. It's gonna help with the smell. Okay, it's gonna go immediately away. And the suction inside the jail system is strong as hell. Also, another thing is too, when you get visits, they're gonna call you. Your peoples wanna come visit you. Your peoples you're gonna get called and you're gonna walk out the jail cell or the dormitory, and then remember, you're gonna go back into like that big old hallway. You're gonna follow the lines, you're gonna go down or you're gonna go up wherever you're at, and then you're gonna go to visitations. Here's a kicker. This is what I did. 2 things that I thought were pretty sneaky. If I want to relay a message to my people because it's behind glass, you are going to grab a piece of paper. You can grab a pen, like those yellow pens, the small. There's no eraser. It's really small. You can put it in your front pocket. There's a pocket inside your shirt. Make sure it's empty. No notes. But when you get there and you're on the phone, write whatever note. Like, let's say you want to do a hit on somebody or something, right? You're going to write that little note. You're going to put it up to the glass window. Hey, do a hit on XYZ. Grab the piece of paper, you're gonna chew it up, and then you're gonna swallow it. That's how you could relay some messages that you don't want to be heard. Because you gotta remember, all the phone calls are being recorded, and they're gonna listen. So if you say some sideways stuff, guess what? You're getting another charge, man. Another thing I did, so let's say I got a homeboy that's inside county jail, but he's on the 3rd floor, and you're on the 4th floor, and then you got another homie that's on the 5th floor. What you can do, and hopefully this works out for you, let's say I got my mom, she's gonna come visit me. My homie's mom's gonna come visit him, and then another homie's dad is gonna visit him. Get your peoples to come visit together. Have them line up, because when you go to visitation, they're gonna line up in line, and then you're gonna go to the front desk. Like my mom's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm here to visit Try," and then the homie's mom is right behind my mom, and then the dad is right behind that mom, and you're gonna call each one of us out. What ends up happening is when you go to visits, you're gonna go into this little room, and there's gonna be all these chairs, and they're gonna have like little dividers up, little metal dividers, and there might be like 8 chairs on this side and another 8 chairs on this side. What ends up happening is when your peoples come to visit you, they're gonna call you, and because my mom is in order, the homie's mom is next in line, and then the homie's dad is in line. Guess what? How visit's gonna play out? It's gonna be me, my homie from the 3rd floor, and then my homie from the 5th floor, and we can chop it up and relay messages to each other. We can talk to each other, okay? Or maybe I can give him a kite. A kite is pretty much like a note. It's like a hidden note that you send to each other. That's another way that you can sneakily see your homies inside county jail. That's something to keep in mind as well. That's pretty much the breakdown of LA County Jail in the Twin Towers. Now, here's another thing. There's another compound that's all the way by Magic Mountain. There's like a big compound where it's part of LA County Jail. But because there's no more land here, they had to do it out in the open, which is over there by Magic Mountain. They call that Wayside Max. I don't know if they have jail cell living over there, but I was placed in dormitory housing over in that side. There's 2 different types. It's kind of different. One is like there's a hallway and there's like bars, like the whole length of the dormitory, and it might be like 30 feet or something. And in the front, you might have a TV. There's benches where people can sit down and watch TV. You got a row of payphones on this side. You got the showers and the bathroom and the sinks right here in the front. You might have some vending machines where people can like buy cars and buy snacks and soda and stuff. And then you have all the rows of bunk beds. The thing about Wayside is that they separate everyone. In one dorm, it'll be like the others. You got the blacks, and then you have the paisas. Those 3 groups are in one dorm. Because there's so many Southsiders, they'll have all the Southsiders in another dorm. So one dorm is like all Southsiders, all the Mexicans in one freaking dorm, and they're all programming. Now that's just one type of like dormitory. Another one is another setup inside Wayside as well. You'll have like a nucleus. This is where the cops have like their command center and the cameras and stuff. This is where they'll sit in the center, and there's 4 dorms, one here, one here, one here, one here, and they pretty much watch it, or 3, I forget. But there's dorms, and how that's set up is pretty much the same, but it's 2 stories. When you walk in, it's the day area, and you have the TV, some benches, and then you have bunk beds in the back, and then there's stairs on the right that go up, and it's another row of bunk beds upstairs. So downstairs you'll have your toilets, and then on one side, then you have your shower on the other side. Dormitory living is a little bit more free flowing because you can walk around and you can, go to the bathroom whenever you want, and you can take a shower whenever you want. You have a little bit more space, and in Wayside, you're not mixed in with everyone. Like in LA County Jail in Twin Towers, if you walk into a dorm, it's gonna be all the groups, all 4 groups in there. You got your whites, you got your blacks, you got your Mexicans, and then you have the others. Because others are like the minority, you'll have less homies inside each dorm. But depending on where you go, like when I went to Wayside and Supermax, shoot, man, we were locked up with like 13 Asians. 13 others. I was like, yo, we deep in here, bro. Man, I remember one young dude, man, his name was Pinochle from Westside Peru. He was fighting life. He had a big W on his hand right here. I hope that he's home. I haven't spoke to him since I left jail. I don't know what happened to his case, but I'm hoping that he made it home safe. And if he's doing some time and he's in prison, hopefully his sentence is already done, because it's been a while since I've been locked up. Hopefully he's home and he's safe and he's with his peoples. But if he's still inside, man, good luck to you, bro. I know you're strong, you got this. And when I last talked to you, remember we were talking about all the stuff we were gonna do when we get back home, man. Don't forget about that. Keep focusing on that goal, bro. We got this, all right? That's pretty much it. The same rules apply. You have the exact same thing. Don't go between bunk beds. When it's lights out, it's lights out. It's done. It's pretty much it. You can also order commissary. So if you're going to be in jail for a long time, people can send you money and then you have an account. It's called your books. You can get money sent to your books, which is your account, and you can buy goods. You can buy soap. You can buy ramen. You can buy sweets like honey buns, Snickers. You got to remember the reason why you're in jail is because you're fighting your case. At that point, you're not innocent, you're not guilty, and you're just fighting your case. And you're just being housed in jail as the court proceedings happen. When you go to court, you'll have a date. And you'll know when that date's coming up, and you'll know. They'll call your name early in the morning. They'll come grab you. So let's say I got court tomorrow. When that day comes, they'll call you early in the morning. The CEO will come call you. Hey, Win, whatever the name is or your number is, they'll call you and they'll place you in a holding tank. When you're in LA County Jail, you're gonna go down to the bottom because that's where the buses are, because the bus is gonna take you to the courthouse. You're going to go down to the bottom. You're going to wait because COs, they got to walk around. They got to grab this inmate on this floor in this room. And they got to grab that inmate on this dormitory, on that bunk bed. They're going to collect everyone. And once everyone's collected, they're going to stuff you into the bus and then they're going to drive you to the courthouse. For me, I ended up going to Selmar Courthouse. So the tank that I was in was towards the valley. So when you go to the holding tanks, you're going to walk through this big old building and you're going to walk down. You're going to get escorted down to like the holding tanks. It's just like one of those holding tanks where you're just waiting. You're going to have one side and then you're going to have another side. Each holding tank is going to be assigned to different courthouses. So let's say this is Compton Courthouse or somewhere close. And then this one's going to be for the Valley, or this one's going to be for like San Gabriel. But you remember there's a hallway and everything's racial there. They're going to separate everyone. One side's going to be for the blacks and the others, and then the other side is going to be for the Mexicans and the whites. What ended up happening to me, the CO, he ended up throwing me into the south side of the tank. Okay? You do not want to do that. You know, when I went to prison, I had a bald head. I was shaving my head. I had a little mustache. So the CO was thinking, oh, you're a Southerner. They're going to throw you into that jail cell. I was sitting in there and I was the only one. I was the first one and I was just kind of waiting. Just waiting. Like that's what you mostly do inside jail. You're waiting. And the jail cell's starting to get full. And next thing you know, I see like this inmate comes in. He has like a big old tattoo, Canoga, right here on his forearm. And I was like, Canoga? Huh? I didn't really think about it. You know, I just kind of like, whatever. And we just started talking a little bit. I was like, hey, Canoga, hey, your hood is like the most wanted on FBI's wanted list, bro. Like you guys are public enemy #1, dog. So we got kind of cool. And as time went on, it started to get more full. And then I looked across. I was like, what the hell? Why is there blacks and Asians over there? And I'm the only one over here that's Asian? It clicked. Boom. The Asian homie, he saw me. He was like, hey, bro, hey, what are you doing over there? Get over here, dog. And you got to remember, the CO is just going to throw you in there. They're going to walk away because they got to go collect more inmates. And I went to the front of the jail cell and there's bars and I was just waiting like, oh, shoot, where is the CO? Where's the CO? As soon as I saw him, I was like, hey, you put me on the wrong side, bro. I need to go across. Put me across. And the agent was like, bro, you could have got stomped out, man. So be on your P's and Q's. After you're there, they're going to send you off into the bus. The bus is going to take you to the courthouse. And when you get to the courthouse, exact same process, man. You're going to go into another holding tank and you're going to sit there and wait. And one by one, you're going to go see the judge. After you see the judge, you're going to come back in and you're going to go to the holding tank at the courthouse and you're going to wait until everyone's done. After it's done, you're going to go back on the bus. The bus is going to send you back to county jail. And sometimes it takes all day. So when you leave, the sun hasn't even come up yet. And by the time you're back, it's already lights out. And your whole day's gone, man. And that's exactly what the jail system is exactly like, man. That's pretty much it. Now, here's the thing, though. Let's say court, they start at 8 a.m. Let's say you're the first one to go see a judge. There's usually a first bus that comes pick up inmates that goes back to jail. Okay, so you can go back to your bed and you can just lay down and relax and rest. If you happen to catch that one, go. And if not, you have to catch the last one, which is like at 5 p.m. because courthouse is closed at 5. So you gotta wait till that night bus, and then you'll finally be done and you could go back to your jail cell. What usually happens in courts is that they will have arraignments and they'll just keep pushing and pushing and delaying, especially if it's a more serious crime. Court cases doesn't happen immediately, especially the serious ones. Let's say it's for like for me, it took about 18 to 24 months. I can't really recall. It was a long time. So I was sitting that long just waiting to fight my case. Every month I kept going back to court every 4 weeks. Oh, let's just push it. Okay, I need more time for evidence. I need more time to talk to this witness. Oh, I need more time for expert testimonial or whatever the case may be. And it just keeps pushing and pushing. And during this time, your lawyer or your public defender that you get assigned might talk to the prosecutor and they might offer you plea deal. So for me, this is how my plea deals went until eventually I just got 5 years. So first it was life. No freaking plea deal whatsoever. As evidence came out or lack of, it went down to 88 years. And then after 88 years, then I got 40 years. After 40 years, I got 20-something years. After 20-something years, they gave me 12. I didn't take that. I kept saying no, 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 no. After a while, they're like, hey, you know what? 8 years. Take it or leave it. And I was like, 8 years? Based off the evidence and everything that was going down, I ain't taking 8 years. Finally, they're just like, oh, okay, you're costing us tax dollars that we gotta pay for. We gotta house you, all this stuff. You're just wasting time. There was a 50-50 chance based off my evidence that I might get off. But here's the thing though, if you go to court, you decide to go to trial, this is where, you see in the movies, not everyone does that. Most people don't go down that path where you got judges sitting there. You got your judge and you got all the jurors. That usually does not happen. 99% of the time, that only happens in high profile cases, murder, mayhem, just the big cases where you know you're gonna be doing a long time. But I knew that my deals were just getting lower and lower and lower. That just means that they don't have that much on me. And I knew I wasn't gonna do a long time. So when they offered me 5 years, which was the last deal, my lawyer was like, bro, you ain't getting nothing after this. After this, you got to go to trial, bro. And you'll get to that point. If you keep trying to fight your case, you'll get to that point. And I was like, 5 years? Halftime? I'm taking it. Let's roll, bro. I'm hopping on that. Let's take this stuff. That's pretty much it. That's exactly how it's gonna go down. Now, after you take that plea deal, or you're found guilty or you're not guilty, several things are gonna happen. If you're not guilty, obviously you get home. You send home, boom, done. Or you might take a deal that's only a year, but you've been down 2, that means time served. That means at that point, they're going to release you, they're going to process you, and then they're going to release you because you did your time already. You did 2 years, but your deal was only 1 year. You did much more than you needed to, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go home. They're going to process you out. That process does take a while. It's the exact same thing. They're going to call your name and you're just going to go down this road. Like there's a systematic process to it. You're gonna go down, they're gonna process you out. After they process you out, okay, cool, go grab your stuff. Here's your clothes, okay, and you go through everything. Okay, yeah, this is the stuff I came in with, you sign it, and then they're gonna release you. But if not, you gotta go back to jail. And if you're gonna do time in jail, then you're just gonna stay in jail and you're gonna do the remaining of your time. Usually you knock out the remaining of your time if your crime isn't that serious. Most people that do DUIs and they crash and they kill somebody, the first offense, no prior history, you're an upstanding citizen or whatever, it's kind of messed up. Even after you kill someone, you typically just do a year. And you do that time in jail. And that's it, you go home. Now, for me, my crime was a little bit more serious. I had to do prison time. And if you're going to do prison time, what's going to happen is you're going to wait about 2-3 weeks or so. And you're just going to wait until the state picks you up. And now you're part of California property now. Because remember, first it was LA County Jail. Now it's California prison. After you wait and they call you, same process. It's early in the morning. You're gonna go on this bus, and then they're gonna take hours, because you got to remember, most prisons are out in the desert. Like, go on Google Maps and type in California prisons. It's all in the middle of nowhere, all in the middle of the desert, man. Okay, so some are close and some are far. Usually, if you're from Southern California, the furthest you will go is Central California and down. Now, if you're from the Bay or you're from the North, they're gonna go from Central California and up. They're gonna put you in those prisons. It's closer to your home. You're not gonna go straight into prison. It's the exact same process. Once you get on the bus to go to prison, you're gonna go to this next phase called reception. Now, reception is just a temporary holding place until they find a permanent place for you. They got to do the evals, they got to do medical, they got to check your record, see if you have any enemies on this certain yards. Point level system, which I'll break down to you. You're gonna get on the bus, and for me, I ended up going to North Kern State Prison, which is by Delano. It's right by Delano, okay? It's in Central California. I was on the 3 yard. You go into the jail cell. It's the exact same thing. Now, there's a little bit different processing though. You're gonna go in there. They're gonna go into like a reception area. You're gonna first go in, you get off the bus, you're in the holding tank. They're gonna separate you again. Tanks for blacks and others, from what I remember. And then you got the Hispanics. I could be wrong. From there, they're gonna find you a temporary holding spot. Might be a jail cell, it might be dorms. You're just gonna wait until you actually get called, and then you're gonna go back to see a nurse. This is when you do your medical checkup. They do your blood, they draw blood to make sure like your health is good. California prisons medical system is top notch, man. You'll do your evals before they house you at a certain prison, your temporary spot. You're gonna be assigned to one of couple levels, prison systems, okay? It's level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Of course, the higher you go, the more time that you're doing, they're gonna place you up there. So let's say if you're doing a long time, like freaking 15 years, you get certain points added up. Okay, so level 1 is like a certain bracket of points, level 2 certain brackets, level 3, level 4. Just all depends on your crime, how much time you're doing, and then they're gonna place you in that system. During this time, there is no phone calls. Okay, you get zero contact with your peoples, because you got to get sorted out before you get placed into your permanent housing. But you can write letters. You can write letters to your peoples, and also you can't get visits during this time either. People cannot see you, and it's usually 60 days. So 60 days, no contact, no nothing. Let's say you finally get housed somewhere, and they say, hey, we got to ship you off to this prison, because you're not going to stay within that prison. You're going to go to another prison, and that's where you're going to do the remaining of your time. Once you get to your permanent place, exact same process happens again. You go through medical. They're going to take your blood, so get ready for needles, man. Get used to it. They're going to check your blood, make sure you're healthy, you have no like diseases, STDs and stuff like that, because they want to make sure everyone is safe. California is now responsible for your well-being, my G. Here's the thing though, when you go to prison, they're not going to bring you your tray to you. If you're in a cell or if you're in a dorm, the cell door is gonna pop open, or in the dorm you gotta line up, and then you're gonna walk to the cafeteria to go eat. You're gonna get a plastic cup, and then you're gonna get a plastic spork. You're gonna line up, and you're just gonna walk to the cafeteria just like in elementary school, one by one, hands behind your back with your utensils here, and then there's gonna be a cafeteria. You're gonna walk in, you're gonna get your tray, and then you're gonna walk around, and then you're gonna be seated. Now, here's the thing about seating. So when you're in there, don't be in there jolly eating. Please be trucha, homie. That means watch out. Watch your back, man. Always be ready, homie. Don't let your guard down, no matter what. I don't care what happens, man. You're taking a piss, watch your back. You're going to take a shower, have the homie come with you, okay? Because there's going to be the same rules, but this one's a little bit more dangerous. In jail, they do a lot of this. But in prison, they do a lot of stabbing. Jails, I will say, seems a little bit more reckless and more wild because everyone's fighting. You have all the enemies getting down. Because let's say that's just how it works. Let's say I'm from an Asian gang. If I see another Asian gangbanger that I don't get along with, boom, we're fighting. But in prison, that rule does not apply. And here's another rule that doesn't apply. Inside county jail, if the blacks get into a riot, when they jump, the others, we got to jump. In prison, though, that group, if the blacks get into a riot, we don't jump. The only time you're going to jump is when others get into a wreck. And that's the only time you're going to go ahead and get down. Here's the caveat to this. It's kind of weird. And like I said, it's ran by prison. If you want to get, if there's like, you have issues with another race, another like ethnicity, and it's not your car, you can't get down with them, man. You have to follow the rules. You got to go to your rep, your house mouse, whoever runs the yard, whoever holds the key. You got to go to them. Hey, man, I got issues with this dude. He borrowed some money. He didn't pay me back, man. What can we do? What can I do? He owes me some feria. You got to figure out from there, man. But you can't just pop off and just start attacking him. Now you're liable to get into a wreck and you're going to get into some deep, deep trouble, man. So before you start mingling and mixing with other people, you better make sure you're ready for, some consequences that you might not have expected, okay? Prison, I think, is much more enjoyable than jail. Jail is so stressful because you don't know the outcome of your case. You're constantly fighting. Everyone's on their toes. All the enemies are in one spot, and it's a little bit less, it's more loosely structured, even though the structure is still there, okay? But it's more gritty, it's more grimy. Where prison is like, it's like the mafia. It's much more organized, but it's much more violent. Now you're into the stabbing. People get stabbed. This is where people die. Where in jail, you might just get a black EYE. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference there, man. But prison is kind of dope because when they call yard time, in jail, there's no yard. You don't go outside for anything. You don't see the sun whatsoever. The only time you will see the sun is for a brief moment when your ass is going on that bus to go to court, because you got to walk outside to enter the bus, right? You go outside and it's like a brief moment. Oh, gray clouds. And then you hop on the bus and then they take you off to court and that's it. Prison is kind of cool because you get to go outside, where jail, you don't. There's the track. You get to go to the library. It's dope as hell, man, when you compare it to jail. There's no way that it's nice, it's cool or anything like that. It's much better. It's much more organized, and as long as you're putting your head down, you're keeping cool, and you're very respectful, and you think before you speak, you're gonna be all right. You have a certain area where your group is gonna go, and this is where you're gonna kick it at. You can't just be willy-nilly and just start walking across the yard and you're like, you can hang out. No, it don't work that way. Specific areas for specific groups. It's already been carved out from the history, from the years before. Like, blood has been like shed for this space that you have, okay? And it's for the forefathers that put it down, that you have this area where you can kick it at, all right? Remember that. Visits are kind of cool too. It's much different than jail. When you're in jail, it's 15 minutes inside LA County. It's literally 15 minutes, and your people gotta wait 4 hours at a time just to come see you for 15 minutes. And if you're on Wayside, the one over there by like Magic Mountain, it's 30 minutes, but they gotta drive out that way. They gotta sit in traffic. They gotta wait for hours before someone can visit you. They have a different process. They have to have approval from the state before you gotta go get visit. So let's say you're locked up. I want to come visit you. I need to submit an approval from the state. They got to run a background check on me, make sure like I'm not gang related, I'm not part of the case or anything like that, and then I'm thumbs up and I can come visit you inside prison. Once that happens, same thing. You go through the process. They like pat you down. They scan the wand on you, metal detector, make sure you don't have any like contraband. Now, here's one thing that some people don't know. If a woman is going to come and visit you and they have a bra, the bras have like this metal wiring that's inside there. They don't allow that. what's gonna end up happening is they're gonna force that person to take out like the metal, or they might just deny the visit completely. So be sure if someone's gonna come visit you and they wear bras, that they take out that metal wiring inside the bra, because they might not be able to come visit you after all that time driving to come see you. Okay, that's a caveat. But prison's kind of cool because now when you get the visit, there's no longer glass. You sit down in chairs. Like there's like this big old room, there's vending machines and there's chairs, and when you first see your peoples, you can hug them, and if it's your girl or something, you can kiss her. You can get a kiss and a hug in the beginning and a kiss and a hug at the end, and you can sit down, you can hold hands, you can talk face to face. You guys can get up, you guys can walk, and if they have some money, they can buy you some snacks from the vending machine, buy some soda from the vending machine. That doesn't happen inside jail is just behind the glass, man. Like I said, it's more gritty, more grimy inside county. Those are pretty much the rules, man. Hopefully I broke things down for you enough for you to understand. I know I'm missing a couple rules. There's a couple things that I'm missing, but if you have any questions, man, there's a comment section below. Drop them, and I'll hopefully I have an answer for you guys, and I could get you your questions answered, man. Hopefully you're out and you're just watching just for entertainment purposes, or maybe just watching just to have a better understanding because maybe a loved one that you know is going through this process right now and they have a difficult time even just trying to explain it, because if they do, it's going to cost money from that collect call, or maybe they just don't know how to put it out in words, or maybe they don't want to explain it to you because they don't want to just have you stressed out, and this is what this video is for. Until then, man, stay safe, stay smart, and just remember, think before you move and act, because 5 minutes can change the rest of your life. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Boom. It's dope as hell in the sense when you compare it to jail. Now, there's no way that it's nice, it's cool, or anything like that, but it's much better. It's much more organized, and as long as you're putting your head down, you're keeping cool, and you're very respectful, and you think before you speak, okay, you're gonna be all right. Now, prison is the exact same thing. You have a certain area where your group is gonna go, and this is where you're gonna kick it at. You can't just be willy nilly and just start walking across the yard, and you're like you can hang out. No, it don't work that way. Specific areas for specific groups. It's already been carved out from the history from the years before. Like blood has been like shed for this space that you have, okay? And it's for the forefathers that put it down that you have this area where you can kick it at, all right? Remember that. Visits are kind of cool too. It's much different than jail. When you're in jail, it's 15 minutes inside LA County. It's literally 15 minutes, and your people gotta wait 4 hours at a time just to come see you for 15 minutes. And if you're on Wayside, the one over there by like Magic Mountain, it's 30 minutes, but they gotta drive out that way. They gotta sit in traffic. They gotta wait for hours. Sometimes if there's a riot, they might just shut it down, and you can't get a visit. Like I remember a friend of mine, her name was Cynthia. She was trying to visit me in LA County Jail, and she couldn't come visit me because my dorm had a riot. And she was just like, what? They shut it down because of a riot? She was like, oh my God, hope he's okay. You know, but she had waited hours, 4 hours, and she couldn't even see me. So sometimes it just happens like that, man. But when you go to prison, before someone can visit you, they have a different process. They have to have approval from the state before you got to go get a visit, okay? So let's say you're locked up. I want to come visit you. I need to submit an approval from the state. They got to run a background check on me, make sure like I'm not gang related, not part of the case or anything like that, and then I'm thumbs up and I can come visit you inside prison. Once that happens, same thing. You go through the process. They like pat you down. They scan the wand on you, metal detector, make sure you don't have any like contraband. Now, here's one thing that some people don't know. If a woman is going to come and visit you and they have a bra, the bras have like this metal wiring that's inside there. They don't allow that. What's going to end up happening is they're going to force that person to take out like the metal, or they might just deny the visit completely. So be sure if someone's going to come visit you and they wear bras, that they take out that metal wiring inside the bra, because they might not be able to come visit you after all that time driving to come see you. Okay, that's a caveat. But prison's kind of cool because now when you get the visit, there's no longer glass. You sit down in chairs. Like there's like this big old room. There's vending machines and there's chairs. And when you first see your peoples, you can hug them. And if it's your girl or something, you can kiss her. You can get a kiss and a hug in the beginning and a kiss and a hug at the end. Okay? And you can sit down, you can hold hands, you can talk face to face. You guys can get up, you guys can walk, and if they have some money, they can buy you some snacks from the vending machine, buy some soda from the vending machine. You know, like that doesn't happen inside jail. Jail is just behind the glass, man. Like I said, it's more gritty, more grimy inside county. All right? But those are pretty much the rules, man. Hopefully I broke things down for you enough for you to understand. I know I'm missing a couple rules. There's a couple things that I'm missing. But if you have any questions, man, there's a comment section below. Drop them. And hopefully I have an answer for you guys and I could get you your questions answered, man. I know this is a long video, but it was a lot to cover. And I did this video because I met with one of my friends last week and he was like, hey, maybe make a video for someone that's never been to prison. You know, not everyone goes to jail or prison for something violent or something crazy. It might have, you know, been an accident or something. You never know. But I think this would be a good video. And I was like, you know what? I'll make the video for you, homie. So here it is. Hopefully it helped you out. Hopefully you're out and you're just watching just for entertainment purposes. Or maybe just watching just to have a better understanding because maybe a loved one that you know is going through this process right now and they have a difficult time even just trying to explain it, because if they do, it's going to cost money from that collect call, or maybe they just don't know how to put it out in words. Or maybe they don't want to explain it to you because they don't want to just have you stressed out, and this is what this video is for. Until then, man, stay safe, stay smart, and just remember, think before you move and act, because 5 minutes can change the rest of your life. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Boom.